robots. Robots. When I was your age, I read about robots and I just thought they were the coolest thing ever, because then you could have these things that move around, that talk to you, that help you do things. And I thought, you know what, when I'm older, I want to work with robots. I want to build robots.
Yep, forward, and then turn.
Alright, I'm going to run you through some robotics challenges today. Are you ready?
Yeah! Okay, so we're going to have a sumo wrestle battle, but with our robots today.
So I'm going to teach you how to make the robot move.
It's going kind of like that.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit too much, right? Because it's not like a perfect square. You're nearly there. Just got to adjust that a bit more.
I think it's going to make it like that.
Yeah, and then it's coming right back towards us. Look at that. It's like right in the parking spot, ready to go. So I was 19 at the time, in my second year at university, and I saw in all my classes and my tutorials that there were very few girls in my class. And my professor told me that this was a big problem, not just in Melbourne, but all throughout Australia and the world, that I thought, oh, I could do something about it.
Oh, okay. Was the angle too much or too little? Too much?
So once I decided that I was going to do this, I recruited a few of my friends and said, let's start designing these robotics workshops. And so we had over 60 people sign up for ROBOGALS within 3 weeks of us actually first meeting. In the first 3 months, we taught 124 girls from 5 schools around Melbourne.
Okay, move the computer out of the room, please. Yeah! Come on!
It changed everything. It really did. Like, it just gave us this huge national platform to spread our message, and it meant that I was impacting hundreds of people a week, thousands of people a month with our message. And they were all learning about us and thinking about how they could get engaged and involved, and that just had a ripple effect in terms of us getting out there and doing more.
Prior to us coming in, most of the girls had no idea what engineering is. On feedback surveys, they tell us things like, I thought it had to do with engines. It has to do with metal. I thought they were train drivers. And my personal favourite, I was wondering if you know Sheldon of the Big Bang Theory. In my head, we're friends.
It was just so busy. In the end, I did 140 speaking engagements in 8 months. And so I was like flying everywhere and was giving like 20 speeches a month.
We need to be teaching our kids from as early as primary school how to make stuff.
I think I keep cutting too many wires, so that's not very good. I'm just gonna keep practicing until I get it right. If I get it wrong on the real thing, then it's a lot of work to fix it.
These are telepresence robots. They allow people to be in multiple places simultaneously. So you could be in Cape Town, South Africa, and have these robots in Melbourne, Australia, and remotely dial into the robot and have a meeting in Melbourne while having your meetings and going about your life in Cape Town, South Africa at the same time. It's so exciting, this technology, because it gives people a superpower of being more than who they are. So you're using technology to amplify your impact. So we've got 4 robots that have been built over there. We've got 8 robots here that are fully built, and they're just waiting to do final rigorous testing, QA, in order to make sure they pass everything. And if they don't, we send them back there to be fixed. I always try to think of my robots in terms of how they can be useful to people with a disability.
حنفية 모터르 하사미 paredes.
We decided that we'd put the ability to recognise objects on the phone so that people with limited vision would be able to recognise everyday objects just by pointing their phone at it.
Hey guys, it's Joy Ross. Today I'm going to be demonstrating a new app for the blind that you guys are going to really enjoy. It is called AI Vision, so it can detect objects. You point your phone at an object and it will try to identify the object.
Labrador!
That is so cool.
Labrador, good girl!
We had a blind school contact us and say that they were teaching it in their classes and that the girls in particular really liked it because it meant that when they went to the bathroom, they didn't have to feel around for the sink or the toilet or the bin, and that way it made their whole experience more hygienic.
Sam, shall we go through it all?
Yeah. Mounting hole at the top of the neck are straight.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
The holes are aligned.
Yep.
Yep.
Our robots cater to people with a disability. We really had to come up with a variety of control interfaces. Different people have different levels of ability in terms of their ability to move their head or their arms or their chins.
First to assist me like the phone. The phone direction better. That you know what to do. Don't design. Don't pieces of furniture. Just take your first laptop. Take a desk laptops. Touch all this sort of stuff.
Now, I've been basically Ryan's hands for just over 4 years now. Obviously, you can see me okay, Ryan? Okay, no worries, and we'll get this down. He does his research, tells me how he wants the project done. In simple terms, I am his human robot. Just perform the tasks he tells me to perform and to complete those projects. Yeah, 0.446, Ryan?
That's fine.
That's fine. Perfect. We'll do the same to the other one, yes? The robot is his eyes, and I can show him what's happening and how the procedure's progressing. Leave some extra, yeah. He gives me little short messages. Any questions, I'll ask him. All right, I'll leave a little bit extra.
Yeah, it's definitely convenient thing, so take your mobility. Easily get outside. The short say that allows me to be in more places than I otherwise would have.
It feels really heartwarming that Ryan's using this teleport and that life is better for him in some way.
People with limited upper limb mobility, they want to just feel like a human who's able to be independent and do things by themselves. I think it's really important to listen and just get into their world and be there for them.
All right, so we'll leave that at that. Like you see, Ryan, the soldering was spot on.
Before I built anything, I spoke to people from the Australian Quadriplegic Association. I reached out to friends and was introduced to friends who had quadriplegia. They told me they were really excited about robotics, being able to give them the ability to have independence and do little chores around the house for themselves. So I made Jiva, the robot arm for people with limited upper limb mobility, in order to pick things up off the ground or scratch their eyebrow or give themselves a drink.
We got great feedback about Jiva in terms of its aesthetics, its compactness, its functionality. The people said we want it to lift more, we want it to be able to lift 2 litres of milk.
And so that's like the idea around which Jiva was formed. This is a hybrid of Jiva and teleport. So in terms of being able to go forward and backwards, left and right, like a crab, and rotational, that's 3 degrees of freedom. These 2 linear actuators here add another 2 degrees of freedom, and then with these motors here, lifting up the elbow and the wrist, it's another 2, so we're at 7 degrees of freedom. And then being able to rotate the hand, that's our 8th degree of freedom in this robot arm. The maths is quite complicated because there's so many degrees of freedom, there's so many different joints, and also figuring out how to get from one place to another and where all the joints need to move in order to get from here to there is also quite challenging. So it's a very interesting problem. So once it has teleport's head here, it'll be like a telepresence robot with an 8 degree of freedom arm attached to it. Before we do all that, we'd actually have to get an end effector off Jiva and put it on the hand so that it has a hand to grip things with.
It's really important to understand who you're building things for and get into their world. Until you actually talk to them, you never actually know, and they have other insights that you never thought of.
The people who work at Australian Quadriplegic Association either have a disability or work with people with a disability all the time, and so to get their feedback was really important. So we took this robot arm and this robot, and we combined the 2 together, and we made this 8 degree of freedom robot arm that can lift 3 kilos from 80 centimeters away. So you're in your chair, you can like control your robot to walk in front of you, get the door for you. You have your own personal butler. You could
vacuum?
I guess you could like attach a, a portable vacuum to the hand and have it just walk around.
From the other concept, it's definitely a big improvement. Now it's starting to use your imagination, how you can use it around the house. Or all these sorts of things, they're a great idea, and until you put them in the house or your environment, then you start to explore it more and more and more.
I always tried to steal my brother's chocolate, so if they can go up, at least you can reach for that height, hey?
Oh, yeah.
The chocolate on the top shelf, Josh?
Well, I used to get the broom and knock it down and catch it, so here's another apparatus.
So you've got pre-prepared meals in their fridge, open the fridge door, take it out. It'd have to have the ability to open or touch a microwave door, again, drop it in, hit the buttons again, and then they've got their independent to, dinner is ready for them as well.
This would be great too for those clients who don't want that 24/7 care.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few clients who they just get sick of someone always having to be there. They want to be alone. Those days are gone for them.
When I was 6 years old, I didn't see that a car was coming, and I was hit by a car. I could see one quadriplegia, the worst spinal injury that you can get. It's right on the top of the spine, and the way that the spine works is the higher up you injure it, the less ability you've got. So my entire movement is in my head, so that's why I control this wheelchair with my chin.
How's it going, Anthony?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great to see you again.
Yeah, it's so good to see you.
Beautiful.
You're looking well. I came to do some brainstorming with you, as well as catch up. So tell me, if you had a robotic arm, what would you want to do with it?
Well, I like to be as independent as possible.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, whenever I get an itch on my face, I'm just going to blow it like this.
Yeah.
goes away a lot quicker if you actually rub it rather than blowing it.
Yeah. What about getting a drink?
A lot of the time I get the carer to hold my drink bottle. I kind of feel a bit sorry for them that they have to stand there and their arm might get tired. Holding it myself would be, all me and nothing else to worry about.
Any other little things? Like, I feel like it's the little things that really make a big difference.
With able-bodied people, when I'm first meeting them, and they want to shake their hands, they want to shake my hand, and I just feel so awkward and unhuman-like when I can't shake them back. I'd say, oh yeah, it is really great to meet you, and to express my warmness towards them. Yeah, they don't know what to do when I can't return the favour and shake their hands.
Yeah.
So they're kind of scrambling about, wondering what the hell do I do with my hand now that I've extended it out. And I just say to them, oh, you can just touch my hand.
Yeah, that's what I usually do when I meet someone with quadriplegia. I just reach out and I just touch their hand, and I'm like,
At least it's something that there's
that interaction.
There's a connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows there's a connection. It has been hard, and I'd much rather it didn't happen. But when you compare my disability to someone who's brain injured in a vegetative state, that's not too bad when you compare those three. Okay, and that's the way I like to think of it.
When you go and meet with people and they give you feedback on a project you're working on, they really reiterate their priorities, and their priorities become your priorities for your project and what you're trying to achieve. So I'm thinking we take a hand off one of the old Jazeera robots.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
We'll have to put another motor controller on it. When we were designing the new robot hand, we actually took this robot hand off this robot and took it apart, and it wasn't put back together properly, which is why it can't close. And so I have to take it apart now and figure out the right way to put it back on so that it can open and close properly. If you can see it in your mind and see how all the different parts fit together and design it in your mind, then you can create. It's like being a magician. Oh, that's good. I'm glad I did that.
Just wrapped it around tightly at night.
Yeah, just a couple of layers. It's not a fast process at all. I think one of the wires just came out. Did some of it just fall out?
Seems like it.
Hmm. So my mum worked as a hotel room cleaner. She worked really hard so that my brother and I could participate in various extracurricular activities and we could get a good education. It made me think if I became an entrepreneur and, if everything went badly, I could do that. I could, get any job and just provide for my family. And so that gave me a lot of freedom. I knew that even if I failed, everything would be okay.
It's my great pleasure to kick off proceedings with our first keynote speaker. Please welcome Marita Cheng.
Welcome everyone. How are you? I went overseas to study mechanical engineering at Imperial College in London. When I first arrived, I thought it would be so great to have ROBOGALS here, then we could be global. No one showed up to the first ROBOGALS meeting in the UK. And so when I realised this after about half an hour, I cried. That experience really taught me that it's okay to have things not work out as long as you learn from your mistakes, dust yourself off from them, and keep going and keep trying. We're here at Anthony's house in order to show him our robot and just act out different scenarios of the robot helping him out in his everyday life.
Closer, Francis. All right. What are we up to, Marita?
Well, for the first time ever, we're going to get the robot arm to grab a cup and put it on the table for you.
Something as basic as that I haven't been able to do since I was 6.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to get some basic function back.
Oh. I think something must have bumped on our way here. For some reason, the robot was behaving erratically and we couldn't figure out why.
It's looking promising.
Yeah. When you prototype something, you use a lot of temporary ways of doing things. So even these wires here that just dangle in the air, they're also made using like temporary prototyping connectors. And so that's why like you bump it, it just falls out. Like they're not meant to be used like that.
But it's exciting to see it in its prototype stage and see what could be. Great success. You gotta have a lot of patience. It's a delicate operation. I'm sure it'll have a lot more function when it's finished.
Well, I mean, we're still pretty early in the process, but yeah, just wanted to get it working and get it out there.
Yeah, I treasure anything where I don't have to ask someone else to help me. I can do something myself, so yeah, I'm looking forward to the day.
What makes this robot more complicated than others is that we have more motors. We have 9 motors in this robot compared to 3 in Teleport and 6 in Jazeera. And so you've got lots of combinations of things that can go wrong. It's just part of the process. It just makes us realise, oh, there's something else that we need to work on and make reliable before we can move forward.
There's way too many inputs for us to have just one central brain. So we need all these independent parts to communicate. It's been difficult to manage all of that reliably.
I always have my doubts that things won't work out, but I also get so excited about what I'm creating because I know that I'll learn a lot and I know that I'll be a better person at the end of it. And so I just go ahead and do it anyway and see what the consequences will be.
Thank you.
There's so many exciting projects you could get involved in as an engineer. It's important to teach our next generation how to think algorithmically, how to think creatively. I just want more girls to learn engineering so they can be part of the journey of creating inventions to help the world. Are you guys excited about engineering and robots? Yeah. You get to be problem solvers for life. You get to do this like all day, every day, and yeah, solve problems for people and like make their lives better. It's pretty fun, right? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.